Hey, I'm Mikey Windsor, and it's time for painting. Today, I was thinking a lot about trees and the overall structure of the tree, the way that the tree grows. And branches create linear forms and contours that are very organic looking. It's like one of the most definitive kind of images of what organic looks like is a tree branch. So I thought I could play around with that and kind of manipulate water to take on that kind of a quality of a tree. Because in one way or another, water is what gives life to trees. And the universal force of life is all this connected rain and tree, and the final product of that is life on Earth. So that's a pretty big thing that I tried to stay focused on. What I did with the sky is I tried to make the sky a little bit pinker, a little bit redder, to kind of tie into maybe sunrise, maybe a hint of where we are in the narrative of life. And also because it kind of has a blood value, and maybe it becomes a little venular in certain points. Bring all of those different elements into one composite. And what that really gets to is a question of connection that's beyond control, and that our human evolutionary thought, our development philosophically, and all these things, they can create realities in our mind and in art, but they can't really create a human that can disconnect from this life chain, this life source, this life pattern, this interconnectedness. Whatever it is, it's a dependent part of our reality. And to try to come at that in a painting, and to try to capture that in a painting, isn't just my goal for this one work, but it's been a goal that stretches throughout many of my works. And I wanted to embrace a more massive feeling of the impact of rain. Like when the rain hits a desert, it doesn't just drop a lot of water. It has the after effect of a lot of plants growing, like a burst of botanical growth following a rainfall. And so I thought a lot about that impact, where the rain comes down in a form, in a curvy, branch-like form. It mixes with the ground, and then that curvy form kind of comes back up in the reality of a tree, or in the substance of a tree. And it's really crazy. With just a couple color manipulations, I can outline this entire life cycle with, using the same shape. Like I painted it as a tree, and I painted it as a water, and it all kind of merges together. The conglomerate factor is very contemporary, I think. I think a lot of our culture and our push to conglomerate everything is kind of scary in a lot of ways, but at the same time it's inevitable. And so there's only reason to be optimistic about what's inevitable. In the end, I took a picture of a tree. I focused on the form. I used my imagination a lot, and a lot of artistic license to kind of ignore gravity. And if we can ignore gravity and we can see what life looks like, then we can get a better understanding of how beautiful this earth really is.